Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the part 2 of how to sew and cut a point collar with a zip at the back and the button at the front. From the previous video, I did a bit of explaining on how to draft your neck pattern. So from this video you can see that you can see that I'm doing a bit of explaining as well. I took neck the measurements of the neck of the cloth I'm attaching the collar to, after which I'm going to just draft it on my paper stain. I prefer to use soft paper stain to be precise. You can use soft color stain as well. I don't like using the strong one because sometimes you might find it difficult to, because it has a zip at the front, you might find it difficult to see because it's strong, and because of the button at the front as well, you might find it difficult to button as well. So I always go for a softer paper stain or a softer gum stain, but for this particular cloth I'm using is a paper stain. So just pay close attention to what I'm doing now. So I'm just trying to check if my measurements, if they are accurate, because you want your measurement to be very accurate. You want your measurement to be the same with the measurement of the neck of the cloth. You don't want your collar to be longer than the cloth itself, or the cloth itself to be longer than the collar. So you have to be very careful when you are doing this part. Make sure your measurements, they are very accurate. So what I'm doing is that I'm attaching gumming my paper stain to my fabric. I'm just gumming it to my fabric and trimming to get you can see that at the down parts of the collar I left like an half-inch allowance, because a half-inch allowance at the bottom, half-inch allowance at the top. The half-inch allowance at the top is going to be my guide on sewing my upper collar to my lower parts of the collar. Then the down parts, we are going to see what I'm going to do at the down parts. I'm just going to okay, for now I'm just cutting the other parts of the what am I going to say now, the other parts of the material to turn the collar. So you have to because is I think I have 4, the lower parts of the collar and the upper parts of the collar. So it's cut another fabric, because you are going to be turning the four collars. So this is the upper side of it. I'm just pressing it on my fabric as well. This is the second part of it, doing the same thing. Half-inch up, half-inch sideways, sideward, half-inch at the bottom as well. Those are my sewing allowance. Let's be clear, those are my sewing allowance. You need to do it like this, because you don't want to be sewing on your gum stain, because the gum stain is the exact measurement of what you took on the neck. So those extra fabric you are seeing, those are your sewing allowance. So I'm just the bottom part of the lower part of the fabric, the allowance at the bottom, I'm just ironing it at ironing it close to the gum stain upward, because that is the bottom part of my collar. But I'm not going to be doing that to the other side of the fabric. So what I'm doing is that I'm just going to be top stitching on the side that I folded at the towards the end of the paper stain. I hope I'm explaining it well. If I'm not explaining it well, just watch the video and just pay close attention to the video and you can get a proper understanding. So like I explained before, so these are my sewing allowance. I'm just sewing the edge of the upper collar. Doing the same thing to the other parts of the collar as well. So I'm just going to trim the excess fabric at the top part, trim it at the pointed side of it, trim it very well inside. Then I'm notching the edge so that when I turn, I will have my fabric is going to relax properly. So you just notch the upper part of it and just bring out the pointed side of the collar. Just make sure everything is sharp at the end. After I'm done with it, I'm just going to take it to my table and give it a proper ironing. So I'm done ironing. So I'm going to use my sewing machine, the footer of my sewing machine, as a guide to top stitch on my collar. You want to top stitch on the parts that has the paper stain. You don't want to top stitch the other way around, because part that has the paper stain is the front parts of the collar. So you want to do your top stitching on the side that has the paper stain. So you just check and make sure that it's the part that has the paper stain that you're top stitching on. I'm just going to do it on both the collars. You can see I'm checking here to see if it's the part that has the paper stain that I'm going to be top stitching on. done top stitching on both the collars, so I'm going to place it, I'm going to place on the bottom part of the collar, so just pay close attention on what I'm going to be doing next. So this is the lower part of the collar. So I've placed the upper part of it. On the first side, I didn't show you guys, so I'm just going to be doing the second part of the collar. So what I did, remember it has a zip allowance, so I'm going to place the upper part of it. I'm just going to mark my 1 inch allowance. My 1 inch allowance is for my zipper allowance. So I'm just going, what I did was that I placed the upper part of the collar on that 1 inch allowance, because you don't want to take your upper part of the collar at the edge, at the end part of the lower part of the collar, because if you do that, you're not going to have a sewing allowance for your zip at the back. So I brought it forward by 1 inch because of the zip. Remember when we were drafting it, I did a proper explanation on how to, what you need to do to place your collar on both the upper side and the lower part. So just watch that video to get a proper understanding of what I'm actually doing now. So I'm through with it. This is the front part of it. It has a curve. So this, like I said before, the gum stain is your guide. The gum stain and the allowance is your guide to whatsoever you are doing. So the gum stain just helped me to do whatsoever I want to do, be it the curve, everything. So I'm actually done with it. So I'm just going to trim out the excess fabric and also top stitch the edges as well and turn my collar. Then I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and iron it. Probably the excess at the bottom, I ironed it inside. Sorry, I did not show you guys how I did it, but I just ironed it inside as well. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to place my collar on my dress. This part, you really want to be very, very careful. You can see that the part that I top stitch, I'm placing the back of the fabric, the back of my blouse on that part, because that is the back of it, that is not the front. You do not want to place the top stitching part at the front of your fabric, because the top stitching is going to show at the front. So I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to explain, but if you look at the video properly, I believe you are going to get what I'm trying to explain. The top stitching part is at the back parts of the cloth itself. Then the part I did not top stitch is at the front. So what I'm doing is that after I'm just sewing around the collar to give it that seamless finishing. So I'm done with the first part. So I'm just going to go ahead. After I'm done with the first part, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the second part of the collar. So when you are done with it, let's assume that you are making something like this. After you are done with this part of it, so you can properly fix your zipper at the back, why am I saying zipper? You can just fix, you have allowance at the back of your cloth, and you can fix your zip seamlessly without no stress, because you followed every detail in this video. So do well to watch the first part of this video, which I did explaining on how to draft the collar itself. Do well to subscribe, like, share this video to people that you know that they are going to benefit from this video. Like, share, subscribe. Please, we want to grow this channel so 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So like this video, share this video, comment if you know you don't understand anything that was put across in this video. Please comment below, and maybe I'm able to like write and give a better understanding. Thank you guys for watching. Voila.